Okay, so here's a problem that is similar to one you're going to see in the homework and one that you'll probably be seeing again, that involves using squares and square roots. Okay, so I have a rectangle and a circle, and I'm going to tell you that they have the same area. And I know the dimensions of the rectangle, but what I want to know is how big would the circle have to be. So, probably the best way to go about this is to draw myself a picture. So, here's my rectangle. And I know my rectangle is 6 by 11. And then here's my circle, and I'm going to say that my circle has a radius of r. And I want my areas to be equal between the two. So I'm going to figure out what the areas would be. My rectangle area is going to equal 6 times 11, because that's how you find the area of a rectangle. My circle, do you remember area of a circle? My circle is going to be pi times radius squared. Okay? So I know that whatever 6 times 11 is, when I do pi r squared, it has to equal that. So 6 times 11 is 66, and I know it's going to equal pi r squared. And now it's just a matter of solving for pi. I'm sorry, not solving for pi, solving for r. So from here, I'm going to treat pi like any other number. I need to get rid of that pi before I can take a square root. So let's divide by pi. Divide by pi. Oh, I've reached the limit on my mental math here. 66 divided by pi is... you end up with, let's see, it's like 21.008. And gosh, that's awfully close to just being 21, but I'm going to put a decimal in there just so that I know it didn't come out to be exactly 21. Okay, it came out to 21.008. And that now equals r squared. And so now if I'm solving for r, my next step here would be to take a square root, and I'm going to end up with r equals, let's see, square root of 21.008 would be rounded 4.6. Now, we just did a bunch of these, and we said that it's important that you say that it could be positive 4.6 or negative 4.6. But that actually doesn't really apply to this problem, because the negative answer does not make sense. Can you see why the negative answer would not make sense? R represents a radius of a circle. Okay, you're not going to have a negative radius for a circle. So this is one of those times where we say, hey, mathematically we know both of these answers are valid, but practically, in terms of this problem, the negative answer doesn't make sense. So I would have to have a radius of about 4.6 in order to get my areas to match, in order to get the area of this to be about 66. Okay, so that's how a question like that would work. Now you're going to see questions like this that deal with rectangles and squares and circles and all kinds of stuff. But they almost always involve a square root at some point. So that's how they're kind of related to this lesson. Now you're going to try one.